Hello everybody. My name is Quentin and I'm here to introduce my new book to you and our new online course which is based on the book. But first, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Quentin and I'm from the UK. Okay, you can see here this is my educational background. My major was humanities with literature. Do you know humanities? Humanities means 人文, right, with literature, 文学. And I also have a diploma in TEFL, right? TEFL, do you know? TEFL means teaching English as a foreign language to adults, right? Teaching English as a foreign language to adults. And I got my diploma in TEFL from Cambridge University in 1990. So you can see I've been teaching English for a very, very long time. I arrived in Taiwan in 1998 and I studied Chinese in Danjiang Dashui, right? So I studied there for quite a long time, 9 months. And I used to work for the British Council, right? You know the British Council, the 英国文化协会. And I can also speak French and German in addition to a little bit of Chinese. And my hobbies and interests are swimming, reading and studying Chinese and also writing books for you guys to help you with your English. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. Now I'd like to tell you about my new book. Okay, we have 2 new books for you about the IELTS writing test and the IELTS speaking test. So first, let me tell you about the writing test first. Okay, the writing book covers both tasks in the writing test. In the writing test, you may know you have to do 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2. So in the book, you will learn the following things. First, you will learn how to analyze the information in task 1, how to analyze the graph or the visual or the picture that they will give you. Then you will learn how to write the first sentence. The first sentence is always the most difficult and always the most important. So I will teach you how to write the first sentence. Then I will teach you how to write about movement in graphs. So for example, when you're describing a movement that goes up or a movement that goes down, the grammar that you can use to write about this. Also, there will be a unit focusing on how to write about comparison, comparing 2 different sets of information, and also a unit how to write about objects, how to describe objects, maps, and processes. And these are all very, very common tasks that you might have to do in task 1. Okay, task 2, the book also covers very important and essential information. For example, analyzing the title and planning your answer. I will teach you how to plan your answer. This is very, very important that you begin by writing a plan. So in the book, I teach you very simple step-by-step procedure that you can use to write a plan. Then I will also teach you how to write an introduction, how to add information, how to illustrate information giving specific examples, and how to describe contrast, the opposite point of view. Also, you will learn the language for describing reason and result. What is the reason for a problem and what could be the result of a solution? You will also learn some very useful modal verbs and how to write about conditions and consequences if sentences. And then also how to use verb tenses correctly and how to write complex sentences. And all of these things will help you to get a score which is higher than 7. One of the reasons why people don't get a high score is because they don't really know how to do these things. So using this grammar and this language in your essay will help you to get a score higher than 7. Okay, here are the main features of the writing book. First, there are also not only language but also thinking. So I will teach you how to think. What is the correct thinking method and also the correct language. Okay. Second, I will give you lots of language banks. Okay. Language banks means like a bank, an 银行, where you can go and learn lots and lots of different language items, vocabulary and grammar that you can use in the book. Okay, also you will see lots of sample answers. I have put lots of sample answers into the book, and also there will be some guided practice activities with feedback. Also in the book I show you what are some of the most common errors that people make in the TOEFL test, and then also I will give you some common errors, and at the end of every unit there is a tracking, self-progress tracking, so you can really see how you are progressing in the writing task. Okay, so that is the writing book. Now I'd like to move on and tell you a little bit about the speaking book. And the speaking book is also based on the test, and in the IELTS test there are 3 parts, right? Part 1 is the easy part, where you have a Q&A with the examiner. Part 2, you have to give a mini talk. So you have to give a small presentation, talking for 1 minute with no interruptions, or for 2 minutes rather. And then part 3, there is a discussion with the examiner. And if you look here, you can see a diagram of the overall speaking test. And if you look here, you can see this is the easy and the difficult part of the test, and these are the 3 different stages of the test. So this diagram will teach you the difference between part 1 and part 3, and sometimes this is one of the reasons why people do not get a high score in IELTS, is because they don't really understand what are the 3 stages of the test. So in the speaking book I will give you more information about this, and this is very, very useful and very, very important. Let me tell you a little bit about the content of the speaking book. Okay, for part 1 I will be teaching you the language that you can use to expand your answers in the Q&A, how to make your answers longer, how to make your sentences more complex, and to expand your answer. In part 2 I will show you how to prepare and how to organize your mini talk. And in part 3, I will teach you how to interact with the examiner and how to handle the discussion. And these are all very important skills that you will need to learn if you want to get a score higher than 7. Okay, let me just tell you the features of the book, okay, of the speaking book. Again, not only will I teach you the language, but you can also learn the correct thinking behind the test. Thinking and language usually go together, 对不对? Okay. Second, you will have lots of sample answers. There are a number of different sample tests that you can listen to. There will be lots of language banks that you can learn the vocabulary and the grammar to use in the different part of the test. Okay, there is also lots of listening practice, so you can listen to examples of the 3 different stages of the test. Also, I will give you some input about pronunciation. You have lots of pronunciation practice, okay? And then also, again, a feature of both books is showing you what are the common mistakes that you need to avoid. And finally, also self-progress tracking, so that you can check at the end of each unit, you can check exactly how much progress you've made. So let me just show you the book. The book looks like this, right? This is the writing book, and then there is also the speaking book. So they come together, but you can read them separately, focusing on speaking or writing according to your need. Now we also have an online course for you that you can also take if you are not able to come to my classes directly. You can take my class online, and the online course basically follows the same outline as the book. So here is a syllabus, a 大纲, for the writing class. The writing class consists of 8 lessons, 4 lessons for task 1 and 4 lessons for task 2, and you can freeze and have a look at the content there, very similar to the book. And in fact, in the class, I use a lot of the content from the book. And here is an outline for the speaking test. So here we have 4 lessons. The first lesson is an introduction, and then the 3 lessons will teach you the 3 different parts of the test. Okay, so that is the test, the online speaking course, and the features of the online speaking course, again, are pretty much the same as the book. So there are lots of sample answers in the class that you will learn, lots of language banks, guided practice, so that you can practice on your own with my guidance, and also some feedback you can get. I will also teach you what are the common errors on the course, and the language and the thinking, not just how to speak, but also the correct way to think about the test. And lots of listening practice, and also you'll have an opportunity to practice lots of your pronunciation. Okay, so that's a little bit of an introduction to the online speaking course and also my book. And I very much hope that they will be useful to you and that you will attend the class and I get to meet you in person. Okay, thank you very much for listening and I hope to see you soon. 好，谢谢，拜拜。